Bitter criticism, criticizing babies on Instagram. Yeah. Nah, just kidding. Hell yeah. Reading Russia Today as usual. Russia Today is my first newspaper because of the cancellation on Western Globosphere. As you should know, there's a lot of countries around the world with Russia Today blocked. Understand? In which Russia Today it got blocked, and people should have to access it by VPNs. So that's the world we're living in the Middle Ages. Anyway, September 4th, Russia and former Soviet Union. Russia provides details of strike on Ukrainian military training center. Foreign instructors were carrying out instruction in electronic warfare and the use of drones in Poltava, the MOD says. We have a photograph. Iskander short-range ballistic missile system is used during the Russian military operation in Ukraine. Moscow's forces have carried out a high-precision strike on a Ukrainian training center in the city of Poltava. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed on Wednesday. Go Russia. The facility was housing a number of foreign instructors who were training Kiev's troops in communication, electronic warfare, and drone operation, according to Moscow. The strike was initially reported by Ukrainian officials, who stated on Tuesday that two Russian Iskander ballistic missiles had hit the School of Military Communication and Information Technology, resulting in the nearly 300 casualties, including nearly 50 killed. While the Russian Defense Ministry did not initially comment on the attack, it confirmed the strike in an update on Telegram on Wednesday. It said Russian forces had conducted a high-precision strike on the 179 Joint Training Center of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the city of Poltava on September 3rd. The ministry added that foreign instructors had been preparing specialists in communications and electronic warfare at the facility, as well as operators of unnamed aerial vehicles participating in strikes on civilian targets on the territory of the Russian Federation. Previously, Kherson Region Governor Vladimir Saldo had also claimed in an interview with RIA Novosti that the training center had effectively served as a base for NATO instructors and was being used to train newly mobilized Ukrainians who had recently been caught on the streets. Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky had used the attack on the center to demand more air defense systems from his Western backers. Meanwhile, the New York Times has claimed that the strike was a, quote, demoralizing blow to Ukraine, given how Kiev's troops were already retreating from relentless Russian advances along the main front in Donbass. Go Putin. I'm going to read the news related to this. Russia Today, ready-made criticism. August 30, EU member claims bloc divided over military structures for Ukraine. Some countries are pushing for deployment, while others have warned that it could lead to an escalation of the conflict. This was 1 week ago, or 4 days ago. There is still no consensus in the EU on sending military structures to Ukraine. Estonian Defense Minister Hanno Pevkur has said. While the bloc is aiming to expand its training of Ukrainian soldiers, it remains divided over whether to send instructors directly to Ukraine. Pevkur said on Friday on the sidelines of a meeting of the bloc's defense ministers in Brussels. Quote, "We do not have the consensus here yet," he told reporters. "We have to find a consensus here because it is not, a one-country mission." According to the Estonian defense minister, the EU countries will also deliberate on the scale of their training mission and decide whether it will be specific and limited or more big-scale training. Pevkur also proposed extending the scope of the EU military assistance mission in support of Ukraine. Eumam, Ukraine. EU military assistance mission in support of Ukraine. Eumam is a nice name. Unfortunately, it will not last too much. Saying that it is quite safe to train smaller groups on Ukrainian soil. Echoing Pevkur's remarks, EU top diplomat Josep Borrell told reporters on Friday that the bloc will discuss how to increase our training mission of Ukrainian soldiers. According to Borrell, the EU has set a goal to complete the training of a total of 60,000 Ukrainian troops by the end of the summer, under a bloc-wide mission set up in 2022, and seeks to expand the training until 2026. Quote, "We are thinking about having a coordination center in Ukraine, but there is no agreement to train Ukrainian soldiers on Ukrainian soil with European instructors, Borrell added. While a number of EU members, including Estonia, France and Sweden, are pushing to deploy the bloc's instructors in Ukraine, other countries, including Austria, Germany and Hungary, oppose the idea. Budapest has repeatedly warned that the move will cross a red line and led to an escalation of the conflict. Moscow was warned against additional military aid to Kiev. President Vladimir Putin said earlier this year that Western military personnel are already active in Ukraine, quote, "under the guise of mercenaries, and have been there for a long time." He cautioned that the deployment of Western forces to Ukraine could lead to a serious conflict in Europe and a global conflict. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov singled out the French contingent in particular, noting that, quote, "Whether they are members of the French armed forces or simply mercenaries, they represent an absolutely legitimate target for our armed forces." And that's how this is over. The EUMAM, the Eumam, I guess they just vanish, I guess. EU military assistance mission in support of Ukraine. Yeah, I guess this is over now. Go Putin, woo!